I don't know if you can hear this, but there's a man singing for call to prayer right now. Boom, baby, boom. Rising and shining. Rising and shining, y'all. This is going to be an introspective morning motivation because I caught myself last night slipping and broke my diet. I ate the cake, and now there's another slice of cake right here waiting for me from my friend. I got emotionally triggered and overeat it again. I had a another toast. I had a Turkish hamburger, and I ate a corn, and I ate some Chinese food that was really expensive. I splurged. I did all the things to repair my mind, and catching myself, I started to look at myself in a different light. I started to see that I was emotionally unstable. Don't beat yourself up, get back on track. Yeah, I didn't do it too bad. I didn't do it too bad. I didn't drink. We went to the homie's house and smoked, but I realized that I have trouble letting go. And here's what triggered it. It wasn't a person, it was business. It started to trickle in on my friends because I had a deal where I was printing two backdrops, or one backdrop and two retractable banners. Now, this deal would have netted me $500, $600. It's money that I really need, because I'm traveling. I don't have that much money, and I needed it, right? So everybody's familiar with money stresses, and I don't know if you're familiar with entrepreneurial stresses or if you're familiar with travel stresses, but it was one of those things where like the money was on the line. And in my anxiety, not being able to process the tank tops like I wanted them to, I ordered them like over a month ago, and then the homie took his time, and then the shipment didn't come in, and the anxiety started to build. And as I was sitting there with my friend, he was asking me a bunch of questions like, how many people do you employ and how much do they make? And I'm like stressing because what was supposed to be delivered wasn't made. And that anxiety started to bleed inside of the next deal. And instead of taking the $100 loss, I put it on the customer, which I did the other customer, and they didn't mind paying the $100. But this customer, New York, it was going to be late. I basically talked my way out of that deal. Now, needing the money and being the reason why I don't get the money gives me some sort of belief that I'm in control. And it's also the reason why I'm having a tough time letting go of my ex and what had happened, and especially because of the outcomes. I started to doing the research on, how we feel as human beings when the outcome is not what we desire. We get a lot of regret because we thought before we had the regret that by making this decision it was the right decision and the outcome would be the thing that we expected. And as you know, anybody that's lived on this planet for a certain amount of time, life isn't what we expect it to be. Now, I've been listening to a good couple hours of Taoism, and it's not Taoism, it's Taoism. There's Taoist and Taoist. Anyway, my point was that they were always wrapping themselves around this universal power, that there are things so much more outside of our control. And yet we have some control. And I figured that's my pitch with this Saints Addiction channel is that you have some things in your control, like your diet, your self control. We talked about it yesterday, or I talked about it yesterday. Things that are within our control. And then there's us swimmers up the stream. I'm forever the salmon trying to go up the stream, and maybe I think it's a honorable thing, or maybe I think I have some sort of control over my well-being. And in my hearts of hearts, I believe that I do have some sort of control over my future. And then the truth of it all, we really don't have that much control over our future. Instantly, you're on the train that gets derailed, or the airplane that doesn't make it, or so many other things that are so much more out of our control than we can ever calculate. And you could have been the guy that calculated every calorie and every scenario and totally analyzed everything in their lives and still be the guy that's on the train. And isn't that ironic? So the train that gets derailed, we look at things so much more of an outcome. What was the outcome of it all? So I constantly sit there with a pass or fail mentality, and if I didn't pass, then it's an epic fail, and it's not just a regular fail, but it's like a beyond what I can handle type failure. Losing my child was something that was beyond what I could handle type failure. Going to South Korea in prison was something that was beyond me, and I was thinking that was epic fail. Losing my company and having them steal the equipment from the back felt like an epic fail. So, in my world, when I have a chance to take control, I want control over my relationships. I want control over my diet. I want control over my life. And I do whatever I can to take control over that, except for last night. I gave up control and started to overeat, overthink, and overspend. And I caught myself doing it. I can eat a really nice meal for like 70, 80 lira here. I ended up spending 500 lira yesterday on just some shrimp noodles, which would have been okay, like in American style shrimp noodles and a sushi roll. But when the tab came and it was 500 lira, I was like, I'm overspending while I'm tripping about not making money. So I didn't make money and I overspent at the same time. I'm catching myself do this. I also didn't work out and I started eating sugar. I actually got some of my soda here too. It's like there's 7 Up here. I don't know, but it's delicious. I love this stuff. But anyway, this and a piece of fucking cheesecake up here on the shelf. I had little to no self control. Now, if you look at the Chinese story of I don't know, Asian story. I don't know if it's a Chinese story, but this idea that the farmer's son falls off the horse, breaks his leg. Someone says that's bad luck. Then the army comes to recruit him, but since he had a broken leg, he didn't get recruited. Some say that was good luck. And we constantly measure these things in like a black and white. That's what my themes are for Saints Addiction, because I'm half black, I'm half white, and also for mostly Saints, it's just like no gray area. And for a person like myself who thinks like if I apply myself, then things would change, the outcome would change. If I had been nicer to that girl when her brother had died, we would have been in a relationship. If I had not yelled at my ex when she was pregnant, we would have had that child. And if I had not had my friend mail the weed um, to South Korea, even though he tried to protest it, I would have never been to prison. I constantly overthink what would have happened if I hadn't done what I had done to get the consequences. Now, I get the consequences if something good happens, right? If something, I picked the right lottery numbers, or I got the girl to come home with me, or I did get the sale, then I'm like, it's all on me, right? Like there's no universal influence. It's the decisions that I made, it's the words that I said, it was me taking action. And listening to the Taoist beliefs, in certain ways, we need to know when we do need to take action and when we don't need to take action. When we need to let nature take its course and be more powerful than we believe ourselves to be. I think there's a lot of my ego involved in it where I'm like I can apply myself. If I diet, then I lose weight. If I work harder, then I earn more. If I approach more women, then I'll have more girlfriends. I'm a numbers guy. I'm an analytical guy. I'm a hardworking guy. But at the same time, I don't let nature take its course. I have trouble letting go. I feel like I'm fully involved. I'm in the captain's chair. I'm the oldest in my family. It's my job. It's my business. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm captain at the helm. And what do you do when the storm comes? When the storm's bigger than your boat, bigger than your skills, bigger than your captainship, you become a buoy in the greater thing of the ocean, right? Like you're just like anyone else. You become. I was thinking about it the other day, how like they pre-warn people before they go to Antarctica. Like, listen, Linda, this is not just a joke. Listen, Linda, you're going deep diving. They explain that to you too. Some of these Ocean Gate people, like you need warning that you're about to go to outer space in extreme climate where there is nobody to come and help you. There is no satellite phone. There is no exit. And I was looking for my exit last night. I was trying to get it. We was hanging out with the friends. We were smoking the weed. We went to this other place, really hard trance music, and I couldn't stand it. It was just beating a little too much for me. It was just too repetitive for me. Not my style of music. But I needed to go get a water. And then they didn't sell a big water like this. They sold a soda like this. And then I was like, ooh, you know what? Let me go back and get the toast in the place that I was there yesterday. And they were really friendly with me. And again, they were friendly with me, and that was nice. But I saw them handing out some hamburgers with like tomato sauce or something. So I switched to my order, got a hamburger too. But I'm pounding this hamburger. Then I got my toast. Then I was so munchied and broken inside that I went for another hamburger. And I'm like, calm down, Saint. Then I saw somebody eating corn. And I'm like, okay, let me go get a corn. I was almost unstoppable. And then I went past this guy, and he sells sweets. And I've never had one of their sweets before. And I said, this is the first one of my life. And he actually gifted it to me. And I'm sitting there chewing on this thing. It's the first sugary thing that I bought in a long time. I've denounced sugar, so I wouldn't be able to have it. But since I ate the cake that my buddy gave me yesterday, that I started drinking the soda, I'm full on addicted. It's almost like hiding cocaine in my pocket. I mean, I'll find it. I'm jonesing for it. And next thing you know, the guy that spent 2 months not eating any sugar is back on track, and it has sugar in his pocket like it's nothing. It's not cocaine. There's nothing to see here. It's hot as fuck outside. Yes, I got a chocolate bar in my pocket. We blinded by our decisions, right? And I was sitting there blinded by my decision. I've never heard this before. Is there somebody coming down the street? Maybe it's Ice Cream Man. No, that sucks. Well, anyway, um, there it is. The ice cream. The sugar's following me. Anyway, I sit here as my last day, full day in Turkey, and realize that I didn't treat my friends with as much love and respect as I could because of the stress of the work that I do, and how the deal was falling apart, and how I let the stress affect me. I was walking down the street and I said, you know what, Mark, when he asked you, do you got all the art? I should have just said, hell yes, your work is underway. Instead, I shared the stress that it was going to be another extra $100 to get the equipment. And did he want to spend that extra money? He already thought it was done. He thought he was going to get it earlier. He thought he was going to get it faster. And then instead, he ended up canceling the whole order. And I ended up missing out on a well-needed $500 $600 that would help me be a traveler, that would help me go on this journey. And I'm starting to stress out. And what do? I stop working out. I start eating sugar. I start overeating. And this is my normal thing. This is like what I do to keep myself from having anxiety. That vroom through my life, that rush of, I have trouble letting go. I think that I'm in control, that I'm in control of my relationships with my ex, that if I had controlled myself a little bit more, that the outcome would have been different, that I had some sort of course, I feel like I had some sort of involvement with the outcome. And it's tough for me to let go because I feel like I have so much more power than I might actually have. Like, I know that I can go up to someone and meet them and talk to them and start a conversation. I know that I have friends around the world and that I started this business from nothing. But at the same time, I end up being in situations where it's out of my control. I'm all the way here in Turkey trying to run a business in Las Vegas, and some things I can pull triggers on, and some things I can't. I couldn't speed up the delivery of those tank tops to get them done faster. They got them on the third day. I thought there was only 3 days of champs. I guess there was four. it affected the way that I processed the deal. And I remember being at the gym when this was going on, and the guy's like, I'll call you back in 10 minutes. He didn't call me. I started putting some pressure on him, like, yo, bro, I need to know because everybody's waiting. I got the whole deal lined up. Your 8 foot by 10 foot banner with the backdrop, the two retractable banners, getting done by 6 o'clock, and you're barking me at 5 o'clock. I'm like, I can't guarantee 5 o'clock. I'm stressing out. He's not replying. I'm at the workout gym. I'm checking my phone more often than I do at the gym. Even saying this is anxiety. It makes me lose oxygen. I forget to breathe. And it's like, it's important to me. I want that touchdown. I want that child. I want that love. And at the same time, it's evaded me. And maybe I'm the trigger in it. I put a lot of morning motivation out there and saying, you're in control of your life, you're in control of your diet, you're in control of the outcomes. And it turns out we don't have that much control. Just like that big old truck going by right now, that motorcycle in the middle of my show, I can't control his engine being loud. I can't control the jets flying over when they pull the F-16s here. I can't control the day. I can't control the weather. And then so I try to over control myself. I definitely tried to over control my siblings. My parents would be like, the dishes have to be done. And then I'd be like, Jeremy, you got to do the dishes because I did the other thing. And Jeremy would be like, fuck you. And then I'd go over there and I'd hit him in his leg and give him a dead leg. And I'm like, you better do it or you're getting another dead leg, and it turned out being abusive. And now my siblings don't want anything to do with me. It's just like, I have a tough time letting go. I could have been the other guy where I just don't give a fuck about anything. As the truck just starts again, there's more noise out in the alleyway here, and these things are out of my control. My co-pro who's watching right now, co-producer, was saying, you know, um, you spit a lot, and I'm like, yeah, because my nose runs a lot. That's out of my control. Or when I'm out walking in public and it annoys me that someone interrupts my show or something, that's out of my control. So it's one of these things that I have tough time letting go of control. And I think that a lot of life was taking control, keeping control, and having power. Now most people, they don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that they put makeup on so they can have power, or that they feel that they're more powerful when they wear a short skirt, or when they got a bunch of guys in their DMs. I'm just mentioning from a woman's perspective, because there's a certain form of of power that we are addicted to. We become very addicted to power. Nobody wants to be powerless, right? No one's in that line. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to have no power, no influence, and no network. And that's what we do. We're all jockeying for position because we know if we're underfoot, because of our economy or our incomes or our positions, that someone can come along. It's the reason I'm an entrepreneur and tell you what to do. No one can tell me what to do. I can't fire myself. I'm the only boss. I'm unfireable. But I also fire myself through deals. I'll look at a deal, make it open to my turn off the Wi-Fi, went to my own phone. But even that, boom, it's out of my control. I got some, they're not even control over their electrical system. They're not even control over their incomes. And you look at other people's lives and you see some people that are able to go with the flow easier, and you see them with their effortless ease. They seem to be happier, being able to let go of the things that they have no control over, and they're powerless to, and they move past it. Apparently it's the advice that I get from all my friends. They're just like, just get over it, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm having a really tough time doing that. I stopped talking to my new uncle. I never knew him before, and then he hooked me up like $1,000. I still owe him $1,000, but then he was like, you need to get over that shit. And he was trying to be like a hard ass on me. I'm like, I don't need that kind of approach. And he was like, I'm not going to get soft on you. And click. And we never heard from him again. These are the things that I'm looking at. My ex-girlfriend asking me through email to let it go and stop blaming her and take more accountability for my actions. And it's like, all I do is take control or responsibility, or over analyzing everything that I've ever done, instead of just letting it go with the flow and saying that was part of nature's choice. You ask my grandmother and she would say, it's not your time, honey. It's not your time to have a child. But then again, she's stopped talking to me. I don't know why. I guess because of my mom, and my mom's not allowed over at the house anymore. And there's all sorts of weird shit going on and drama that's out of my control. So I just look at things all the time and go, what's in my control? I don't get to control when the customer calls me, but I do get to control my attitude when the customer calls me. Not trying to share that anxiety, so I end up losing the deal. Not trying to share the late fees with the customers that they want the delivery by, or in relationships. One of the things they were talking about Taoism is the uncontrollable force of attraction. You can't stop yourself from being attracted. Sometimes it builds and sometimes it skyrockets. I've been in a club once where I was in raw past her, and we both turned and looked at each other and started kissing. This never happened in my life. To walk past a stranger and then all of a sudden be intimate with them, we had instant animal attraction. And that stuff is something that's more powerful than any of us. If you're attracted to that purse or that shoe or that person, it's going to be foremost in your mind. It's not going to be a thing that you're like, yeah, I'm going to be attracted to this. It's like that cheesecake sitting on the shelf. I'm attracted to it. Whether it knows it or not, whether it's been sitting there all day, all night, looking like it got dry, it still looks edible to me. It still looks delicious. And it talks to me and whispers to me. Same like the weed, wanting to be like, yo, we can relieve you of that stress. Come and smoke us. Come and make a bowl. Come do another gravity bond rip and have the morning start the way that you want it to. I have a tough time letting go, guys, and I'll never forgive myself for acting the way that I did and scaring my ex into an abortion. I'll never be able to forgive myself for not being there for that girl when her brother died. I'll never be able to forgive myself for making my mom feel less than, or being abusive. And my siblings is some of the darkest stuff in our lives. And I was watching someone tell the show, if we all, like, this one girl goes, your aesthetics would make my ex jealous. I'm like, that's the truth. She wasn't trying to date him. She was trying to find a cuter guy than her ex to make her ex jealous. And that she wasn't really over him. So that way she was only trying to placate, and she was going to let him sleep with her because she wanted a short term relationship to fix her broken wounds from the other relationship. And it was like, wow, there's a lot to tell the truth. And the dude's like, I got bad hygiene. And honestly, I just want to smash. And I'll say anything to you so I can smash. And it was just like, dude, this is the real truth. And that's what I feel like my show's about. It's like I'm telling the real truth. And my real truth is that I have trouble letting go. And I just felt like the whole time, and part of my suicidal tendencies was like, I just want to reset it. I'm the guy in the game, the reset guy, or the Mortal Kombat, not the Mortal Kombat, the Contra, and being able to up down down left right, select start A B kind of person to get more out of my life, to get infinite lives, and to get the whistle in Mario Brothers 3 and jump the course and learn the cheat codes. And I'm trying to get all the cheat codes I can out of life, and I don't know anybody else was gonna lie about it, but that's what I expected. It was a better life. I expected that I'd be rich by now. I expected that I would be married with a family by now. I really did. I expected extreme success because of all my stress and all the self-control that I put on myself, and all the amount of focus and effort that I put in. It's got to be this way. And then, of course, I'm going against the storm of life, where it brings the breeze, it brings the waves, it brings the power, and then lets you know you're powerless. Like, there's some things like growing old and biology and change that you're powerless against. I've this is my last day in Turkey, and I'm powerless against the 13 years that it's been, and the amount of change that's happened in the 13 years. If I had more control over my emotions, I wouldn't have been so frosty with my little brother. But I was so stressed. I was like, bro, I can't answer these questions right now. And then we were supposed to hang out together yesterday, and I was like, do your own thing. I didn't feel like very social. And he stopped answering the phone, so I went and did my own thing. But it's like I blew another opportunity to fix it because I didn't feel that my emotions were regulated. And we always talk about emotional regulation and how it helps to eat right and exercise right and breathe right. to control this anxiety that I make me lose my money. So the anxiety not only made me lose the deal and lose money, but it also made me spend more money than I had. And it also spins me up for my next relationship where I feel there's no trust that I could have with women. And I things where I wish I was Taoist, I wish I was Taoist, I wish I was Buddhist, I wish I had better control. That's the power that I wish that I had. And then there's me knowing that there isn't that much power that I do have. That I am pretty much powerless. I'm powerless to the law because they keep seeming to arrest me. I'm powerless, and I feel a little more powerless in the outcome. Like I'm not in the driver's seat, and I'm not as good of a driver as I expected to be. So I'm good at some stuff. I really am good at sales. I'm really good at approaching, and I'm really good at getting out of my comfort zone. But at the same time, I'm really bad with sugar and when I'm emotional and overeating and letting go of my past. I constantly go over it in my head of where I went wrong in my business, where I went wrong by this relationship, and where I went wrong just now with the business. So it was something I still study and have trouble with. I'm trying to figure it out. If you have any suggestions, go ahead. Comment below. Let me know what you do for letting go. I know I'm not the only human to do it or have trouble with it. I was watching a TED talk about the guy saying letting go isn't easy, but holding on is way harder. And that's what seems to be what's happening to me as I just keep holding on to this child that I lost. And even though I'm free and I can eat what I want and roam around Turkey, um, you know, um, doing what I want when I want. It pales in comparison when I haven't let go of what was happier for me when I was in love with the woman that I thought was perfect for me, with the perfect timing and the perfect child. And my destiny didn't go in that direction. So yeah, it does fuck with me. I think it's going to continue to fuck with me. I don't think I'll be letting go anytime soon. This isn't like I have the keys to the kingdom and I'm giving them to you. I'm just stating the psychological effects to human beings and where we get so much stress and where we get so much anxiety and where we start self-destructing ourselves instead of being the person that can merrily, merrily, merrily go down the stream. I tend to be the person that tends to grin his teeth and go up the stream and start fighting up the stream. And I get tired of doing that. And I'm sure there's other people that can say they also get tired of battling upstream and battling themselves and battling life. And then you feel like life is battling you, and maybe your tarot cards aren't in alignment, or maybe it's your sign, or maybe it's that time of the month. Whatever it is, dude, it's one of those hardest things to do, is to let go and let life and let live, as they say in all the musics and songs. But it's my last day in Turkey, and I need to let go of this experience and start to embrace Spain and the new experience. So I'm checked in on my flights. I'm basically packed. I did all my laundry, and I'm ready to leave tomorrow night at midnight, headed for a whole nother country with little to no money. And I need to let go and let live. And if you got any sage advice, share and subscribe below, comment below. Peace and love. And as always, Chi Gathon. That means goodbye, but not forever, and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you do of a new experience in a new country. That's where I'll see you guys. So peace and love. I'll see you on the other side. Ciao.